is Justin Daniels. I'm a children's doctor, a paediatrician at a hospital in London. In this short talk, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you get healthcare within the UK, because it might be difficult, it might be different from the country that you're more used to. In the UK, it's really important that you register with a general practitioner, and that's the main way that you will access healthcare. General practitioners can see you for almost any problem, and if needed, they can refer you on to somebody else. If you try and get your healthcare just through the hospital, then you might find that you see the wrong people and that nobody coordinates what's going on overall. People worry about registering with a GP. It's actually very easy, and you don't need any documentation to do it. If you have a problem registering with a GP, then you should ask for help. And when you go to the GP, if they refuse to register you, then you must ask them why it is that they're refusing to register. The only time that you should seek healthcare away from the GP is if you're particularly unwell. If you think that it's an emergency, or if somebody close to you is very unwell, then you should take them to the accident and emergency department of your local hospital. Please understand, if you go to an accident and emergency department and you're not very unwell, then you're likely to be kept waiting for a long time. You'll probably be seen by a doctor who's less senior than your general practitioner, and actually your care overall may be less good. Having seen your general practitioner, if they're worried, then they may refer you on to a hospital doctor like myself, if it was a child, or a different specialist if it was an adult, but they will only do that if they think that that's in your best interest. And often there will be issues that they will be able to deal with themselves, and they'll be able to think holistically about your care. Please, if you have any problems, ask your GP, unless people are specifically unwell, in which case the sensible thing to do would be to go to A&E. No, your GP is your own doctor. GP is short for general practitioner, and they're the doctor that you should be registering with and that you should be seeing when you have most of your problems. If you're not sure which one to register with, then talk to your friends, talk to people who live in your community, and ask them where they've found a good GP. The other way to choose which GP to register with is to look on a website like NHS Choices. And on the website, you'll find recommendations about GPs. You'll also find out which particular services each GP offers. If you have questions, please talk to the people around you, and they will be able to tell you which GPs they've registered with, and they'll be able to show you where your nearest GP is. Most GP surgeries will have female doctors, but not all. If you are very certain that you want to see a female doctor rather than a male doctor, then you should be especially careful when you choose which GP to register with. If you register with a practice that includes a female GP, then you should on most occasions be able to see a female GP. If it's an emergency, for example, if you need an extra appointment at short notice, then you may not always get a choice. In some cases, you may feel slightly uncomfortable if it's not a female GP. Actually, if you're really unwell and you need advice, then you need to see somebody suitably qualified. You can ask to see a female doctor in the hospital, and where possible we will provide you with that service, but sometimes again that's not possible. If all of the doctors on call at the time you go to hospital are male, then it may be, if you're particularly unwell, that you get treated by a male doctor. Doctors will always do their best to keep the information that you give them confidential. They should also respect your dignity, and they should respect any requests that you make. And they should try to fulfill those as often as possible. But on some occasions it may not be possible. And if you need treatment urgently and there is only a male doctor, then it's really important that you accept that treatment. Absolutely. And it's really important, if you feel uncomfortable, for example, being examined by a male doctor, then you should say so. No male doctor will be offended by that. And certainly in my own practice as a children's doctor, if I have to examine a young girl, I would always ask for a nurse to be with me as a chaperone. It would be lovely to see you again. I hope this information has been useful.